Hello learners, listeners and viewers. Welcome to this session. Today's session specifically we have designed to offer details about the program Certificate in Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. You all must have enrolled for the July 2024 session. In this session, I will explain about the entire program. Not only the entire program and why do we actually offering this program, that not only that concept, I will explain the 3 courses related to this program. You all must be wondering what is the need for offering the program in gender, agriculture and sustainable development. The discipline of gender and development studies, women's studies and agriculture, very long before itself, it has acknowledged and brought the discourse of women's contribution in agriculture. If you take the agriculture as a sector, the women, they contributed more than 70% of all the activities related to agriculture and its allied sector. This women's contribution to agriculture has been acknowledged. Specifically, the feminist economists, they have done extensive field work and they acknowledge that what are the activities specifically the women contribute for the agriculture and related activities. Specifically, if you want to mention the one specific work related to women's contribution in agriculture, is that we can say that the Esther Boschrup work on women's role in economic development. It was first published in 1970. Her work brought the women's contribution in agricultural activities. Her work led to the United Nations to conduct the 4 international conferences. Not only that, it has led United Nations to conduct the 4 international conferences. Her work also led the UN to develop the framework called Women in Development, that is the WID approach. With this background, I would like to explain what is the objective of this program. The objective of this program is to create awareness about gender roles and typology of issues in agriculture. So this program specifically talks about what are the male's activities related to agriculture and its allied sector, what are the female activities related to agriculture and its allied sectors, what are the issues specifically male and female they are facing related to agriculture sector. The second objective is to provide the knowledge on sustainable development. Now all of us are talking about, and many of the sectors certainly they are implementing the activities related to sustainable development. So the second objective of this program is to provide the knowledge on sustainable development in relation with gender and agriculture. The third objective is to build capacities in gender research in agriculture. You all must be wondering, we need to develop appropriate tools, techniques, methodologies to do the research related to gender in agriculture. This program certainly will build your capacities to do the research related to gender and agriculture, specifically with related to gender, agriculture and sustainable development. With these 3 objectives, this program the IGNOU is offering this program. Before we get into details about the 3 courses related to this program, I would like to explain much more about the reasons for offering this program, that is why gender, agriculture and sustainable development. As I have already mentioned that the discipline of gender and development studies, agriculture and their allied disciplines acknowledged and brought discourse on women's contribution to agriculture and its allied activities like animal husbandry, fisheries, beekeeping and many other things for more than a decades. The process of acknowledging women's contribution to economic activities, specifically agriculture and allied activities, started much earlier by the feminists. The feminists did a field work and they have acknowledged the women's role in agricultural activities. In this entire research process, specifically feminist economists and researchers did a field-based research and documented women's contribution to agriculture and allied activities with specific notable contribution in the much earlier, in the 1970s itself, what we could able to say is Esther Boschrup work. She is a Dutch feminist economist. After doing extensive field work in Africa, she has published a book titled Women's Role in Economic Development. It was first published in 1970s, and it has brought the women's contribution to agricultural activities. From her book, specifically from chapter 3, I would like to quote specific about what she has talking about the women's role in agriculture activities. Specifically, she has extensively done a field work in Africa. I quote, Africa is the region of female farming par excellence. In many African tribes, nearly all the tasks from food production and other activities left to the women. In most tribal communities in Africa, the agriculture system is that of shifting cultivation. Small pieces of land are cultivated for a few years only until the natural soil diminishes in a particular field. When that happens, when the crop is failed in a particular field, again they will change the place for cultivation. The male members, mostly in Africa, they clear the land. After clearing the land, rest of all the agricultural activities are carried out by the female members. Even boys 15 to 18 years, also they actively involved in the agricultural activities. This I unquote. This is the quote I have read from her book in Women's Role in Agricultural Activities from chapter 3. So according to Esther Boschrup, even why do we not acknowledging women's role in agriculture? For that, she specifically talk about even colonial rule also contributed for not acknowledging women's role in agriculture. When the colonization has happened in most part of the Africa and Asian countries, mostly they have introduced modern agricultural techniques. This due to the education and skilled, most of the male members, they could able to register their land in their name. So female mostly, they work as an agricultural laborers or they work in their own land for food production and other activities. As I have mentioned, this Esther Boschrup's work has helped to declare the period from 1976 to 86 as the United Nations Decade for Women. As also, her work also widely discussed in the first international conference on women, which was held in Mexico City in 1975 to know the women's status and position in economic activities. And as I have already mentioned that her work is based in Africa. She has extensively discussed about women's contribution to agriculture and industry, and also her book also brought the light on women's land rights. That just I have explained that due to the education and skilling, male members could able to register their land, or they could able to accumulate and they could able to register their land in their name. Mostly the women, they work as a farmers or agricultural laborers, or they could able to work in their own field. Women also, they have to, the existing statistics clearly pointed out that in women, they have to carry out 60 to 70% of all farming related work across most regions of the country. Still, you could able to see that around 75% of the agricultural activities are carried out by the women. Still, they are not considered as farmers, and they are not getting recognized as farmers due to male dominance and the existence of patriarchal attitude prevailing in the society. Since the women rarely recognized as a farmers, they lack access to resources and institutions. These are the introductions, whatever the introductions I am giving, These introduction certainly give you the rationale for studying the certificate program in gender, agriculture and sustainable development. Just I have mentioned that the women, they lack access to resources and institutions. This was extensively explained in the course to MGS 042. What is the reasons for lacking access to resources and institutions? Need for accessing resources and institutions. So if they could not able to access to resources and other institutions, specifically institutions related to agricultural activities, what are the consequences? Why do we make women to access various institutions and resources? This has been extensively explained in the course 2. If we go further, for providing the rationale for offering this program, another significant issue related to women and agriculture is that lack of training and lack of access to modern technologies. Because of the lack of accessing modern technologies and lack of training has increased women's drudgery in agricultural activities. This we need to acknowledge that. Another significant issues related to women and agriculture is that even extension workers, mostly you could able to see that mostly the male members, they became an extension workers. Since the existing patriarchy is prevailing in the society, most of the male members, they rarely acknowledge women as a farmers. Since the extension workers rarely paid women farmers in the family land or women as paid wage workers in some other agricultural land. Here the patriarchy, it plays very significant role in gender inequality. If you look at the patriarchy will be the part of the everyday life with women, and women always, whichever the activities, whatever the institutions, one could able to see that mostly, very rarely, the women are considered as equal like male members in the society. This happens in agriculture also. So women's subordination has become part of our society. It became like women, they are expect to do various activities in the society, but rarely their activities and their roles very rarely acknowledged, and most of the time whatever the activities the women do, it is unpaid and unrecognized, and they expect to do the various kinds of care activities. So agriculture as a separate, even agriculture field also, it is not an exceptional. Women, they do contribute, but their contribution rarely recognized in the agriculture field also. Here, with this background, we have offering this program. This program is a postgraduate level certificate program. You all must have taken the admission in July 2024 session. This postgraduate level program has 16 credits worth. With that explanations, whatever I have given introduction, that made us to offer the postgraduate level program to sensitize all the learners, whether the particular learners coming from an agriculture background or non-agriculture background, whether the learners from science or non-science background, we have offering these courses, this program, irrespective of their undergraduate discipline. So any undergraduate can able to take this program. This program broadly covers gender, agriculture and sustainable development. For gender, agriculture and sustainable development, we have explained the concepts and trends, and specifically we have explained about the gender roles and issues in agriculture and sustainable development. We have also explained the various policies, programs related to gender, agriculture and sustainable development, and we have explained about the sustainable development also. What is the need for talking about the sustainable development in the 21st century? How this concept of sustainable development specifically related to gender and agriculture. When we talk about the sustainable development, we have explained about the role of women in food production, and few units it talks about the relationship between food production, health and women's role, and how do we address the women's issues in sustainable development, and how can we acknowledge the women's role in sustainable development. All those things clearly explained in this program. This program aims at having a potential learners from various groups like students, research professionals. It is specifically very important for the researchers to know about the women's role in agriculture, sustainable development and other activities. Then only whatever the research they do, certainly that research will address the they could able to do the research in a very gender transformative manner. Otherwise, they may not be able to address the issues faced by the 50% of the population in the particular country. So, research professionals, even scientists, extension workers and NGO professionals, most of the NGO professionals, they work in the field. It is very significant for them to have a gender sensitivity. Then only they could able to take up the issues at the field in a very gender sensitive manner. Then human resource personnel and policy makers. So we have a students from various background. For whoever take up this program, they could able to, when they complete this program, they could able to live with a very gender sensitive manner, and whatever work they pursue after completing this program, they could able to work in a very gender sensitive manner. It is an interdisciplinary program to be offered to graduates from disciplines across science and social sciences. We have not only explained the concepts related to social sciences, even scientific concepts also explained in a very detailed manner. The program coordinators, they have come from both science and social science background. That's why we could able to explain even scientific concepts also in a very detailed manner, and those scientific concepts we have explained with the relevance, by looking at the relevance in the larger society. And this is an postgraduate certificate level program. So minimum it is a 6 months program. Maximum, once you have taken up the admission for this program, your registration is valid for 2 years. For example, if you have taken the admission in July 2024 cycle, so for 2 years, within 2 years you are expect to complete this program, or you can able to take the exams in December itself. Another significant point here I would like to explain is that we have already uploaded all the assignment questions in the IGNOU website. The learners who have enrolled in this program, they could able to download the assignments, and we have the printed material will reach you, or all of you must have already got the printed material. Kindly read the course material in a thorough manner. After reading the course material, please attempt the assignment questions. Once you complete the assignments, kindly submit your assignments to the respective regional centers. Fee structure you must have already paid. It's a one-time fee 3,800. And as I have mentioned, this is the postgraduate level certificate program. So graduate from any discipline, they can take this program. There is no age bar, minimum or maximum age bar. Medium of instruction is English. We are offering this program currently only in English. Maybe we could able to offer later stage in other languages. Currently it is offered only in English. So both July and January cycles we are offering this program. So anybody can interested in the issues related to gender, agriculture and sustainable development, they are welcome to take this program. And if you look at the program structure, this I would like to explain little in detail, because all of you have joined now in this program, so it is important to know the program structure. As you all aware, in IGNOU, we write each program. Like if you take any program, each program will have a different courses. Like other programs, this program also have a we are offering 3 courses as part of this program. And if you take this any courses, the courses further divided into several blocks, and each block has several units. Each unit, like if you take up the each unit is like a lessons in the conventional university. And if you take the each unit, the unit also further divided into various sections. After each sections, you will find some questions, and these questions, like at the end of the unit also, you could able to find the unit end questions. You all must be wondering, why do you have a check your progress exercise and unit end questions? So when you read each unit, after completing 1 or 2 sections, you read the check your progress exercises and try to attempt those questions. If you attempt those questions, then you could able to know whether you have understood like whatever you have so far read. Then you could able to see whether you could able to understand those concepts or theories related to particular sections or not. So after completing the each unit, you can try to answer the unit 10 questions. Like we have given 4-5 unit 10 questions in each units. Those questions also you could able to write in your own words. Then you could able to know whether you are completely understood all the concepts, theories, and whatever explained in that particular unit, you come to know that you have clear about all those things or not, that you can clearly understood. That's the reason that we have given check your progress exercise as well as unit 10 questions. Some of the learners, you must be interested to read further about that particular topic. For example, one example I could able to give you. We have given one unit titled as Gender Roles in Agriculture. There we have explained what are the roles performed by the female, what are the roles performed by the male, whether all these roles are performed by the female or male members related to agricultural activities, whether it is acknowledged or not. What are the studies related to gender roles? You must be wondering how come you could able to clearly saying that this much women, this percentage of women, they are performing these kinds of roles. Though this is those units we have developed based on the existing study. We have explained about few studies in that particular unit, as well as 2 or 3 case studies also we have given in a box to make the learners to understand further. So some of the learners may be interested to read further, or if you want to read the particular study, all those things, some of you may be interested. For that, we have given the further readings also. At the end of each unit, we have given various references, but that particular unit is developed based on those references. If you are interested to read further about that particular topic, you can access those materials in the internet, or you can visit the nearby library and you can read further about that particular topic. This is the program structure as far as IGNOU is concerned. Now I will explain the program overview. This programs, particularly Certificate in Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development, it has 3 courses. The course 1 titled as Introduction to Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development, it has 6 credits. The course code is MGS041. In IGNOU, each course we give you the course code as well as course title, and each course will carry the credit weightage. So when second course is MGS042, the course titled as Gender Dynamics in Agriculture. The second course also 6 credits worth. Third course is MGS 043, Gender and Sustainable Development. It has 4 credits, total of 16 credits worth this program as far as this certificate program is concerned. Here I would like to explain little more about what is credit, why do we mentioning the credits. In IGNOU, we like 1 credit means it is worth 30 study hours. So for example, if a 6 credits or 4 credits, 4 credit means you are supposed to expect to at least spend 120 study hours to complete that particular course. So for example, first course MGS 041, the title does Introduction to Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. It is 6 credits worth. So you have to at least 1 credit means 30 study hours. So this entire course we have designed by dividing the course in a like 6 credits. So you can if you spend 30 study hours means you could able to complete the 1 credit worth study material. These 30 study hours include reading of the course material, or if you would like to refer further reading, that also it includes. And also these 30 study hours include like finding out the answer for your assignments, and like as I have explained, there is a unit 10 questions or check your progress exercise also. When you read the units, you must be you would like to like answer either check your progress exercise or unit 10 questions. So this 30 study hours include reading and finding out the answer for your assignments, or searching the further material related to that particular units. Everything it includes. 30 study hours, everything it includes. So as far as this program is concerned, there are 3 courses, and first 2 courses are 6 credits worth, last course is 4 credits worth. Total it is 16 credits worth program. Now let us move course wise. I will explain each course and content of this course, and I will explain little bit about the each course. Then when you read this course, then you could able to read very clearly and you could able to understand. Let me start with course 1. Before I go to the course 1, what are the expected outcomes related to this program? After completing this program, what is the outcome of this program? What are we expecting from the learners? That I would like to explain. Basically, we expect to change the mindset of the policymaker, government functionaries, extension workers, researchers and students. Whoever take this program, when they complete this program, certainly we expect them to become more gender sensitive, and whatever research, whatever the activities they do, we expect them to do their activities in a very gender sensitive manner. This is an ODL program on gender, agriculture and sustainable development. So this program would like to address the issues related to gender, agriculture and sustainable development, and we would like to create awareness among all stakeholders related to these issues. This is the expected outcome. Then let us move to course 1. The course 1 is Introduction to Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. This course course code of this course is MGS 041. Objective of this course is to introduce concepts related to gender, agriculture and sustainable development to our learners. That is that. The first course, in the first 2 blocks, clearly explained about the various concepts related to gender, agriculture and sustainable development. Specific objective of the course is to discuss the basic concepts related to gender, agriculture and sustainable. These are the 2 objectives of this course. That is the course 1. That is the Introduction to Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. If you look at this course, this is a 6 credits. We have a 4 blocks. Altogether, there are 19 units as far as the course 1 is concerned. Like block 1, as I have explained, there are 5 units. First unit is unit 1A, that is also gender basic concepts. Unit 1B also gender basic concepts. You all must be wondering, why do we have 2 units related to gender basic concepts? This specifically, this course, this program is titled as Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. In the first 2 units, 1A and 1B, first unit we have explained various concepts related to gender and development, and 1 unit we have explained various concepts related to feminism and related concepts. For example, if you talk about the gender, gender is not about the female. Gender is inclusive of all sexes, irrespective of whether male, female and other genders. So we need to, like, the entire discourse, one has to understand the discourse about how, when did we started talking about the need for studying about women, why the women have been discriminated, why the women are not equally considered like a male members in the society. This question may be arising in your mind. So when the entire discourse has been started, and we also need to know about what is feminism and the concepts related to feminism. All these things are clearly explained in the first 2 units. One is about gender and basic concept. In that we explained about the concepts related to gender and development. The another unit we explained the concepts related to feminism. Third is about the unit 2 is about social construction of gender. It is important to know how the entire society has been socialized. Why do we talk about the patriarchy? How the patriarchy operates in the society? That all those has been explained in the unit 2, that is social construction of development. Then unit 3 is about the feminism in development. What is the role of feminist in intervening the existing development process? How much the feminists they have contributed to make the entire development process more gender sensitive? That was explained in the unit 3. Not only that, it has been explained, the unit 3 also explained about the various international conventions and conferences. Based on this various international convention and conferences, what are the approaches has been emerged, how these approaches really help the governments and other bodies to bring gender sensitive policies and programs. With regard to unit 4, it's about gender and work. We all need to know what is work. Why do we talk about the work? When we talk about the work, we conceptualize that work means whatever the activities we perform, that should be given certain kinds of economic benefits. If the particular activity, if does not give any economic benefits, most of we don't accept those activities as an work. So here, first we have introduced what is work. After introducing the work and various types of work, how many percentage of women really doing the economic activities in the market, all those things have been explained in unit 4. After explaining the work, then unit 5, immediately we talked about the care economy and feminization of labor. What is care economy? Why do we need to talk about the care economy? And then we talk about the feminization of labor. So the block 1, if you look at the block 1, it clearly explained various issues related gender and agriculture. The block 2 also, once after introducing the concept, the block 2 talk about the approaches to gender and development. So in that unit 6, development discourses, the various theories related to development, how these theories really conceptualize the existing development. Here, how the feminists intervened and critiqued the existing development. Then the emergence of women in development, women and development, and gender and development concepts. And after emerging after conceptualizing the gender and development approach, based on that gender and development approach, certainly we need to assess the women's position and status in the society. To assess the women's position in the status and society, we need to have certain kinds of indicators. Those indicators have been given in Unit 8. So first block 2 and block 1 and block 2, he clearly talked about gender. When we go to the block 3, we have introduced the agriculture and allied sector. If you take agriculture as a sector, there are agriculture, crop agriculture is there, horticulture is there, livestock is there, fishery and agroforestry. These are the sectors related to agriculture. So each unit has explained about the various sectors. If you take crop agriculture, then what is agriculture, what is crop agriculture? Again, we have explained the women's role in crop agriculture. Then horticulture also, we have explained about what is horticulture and the activities related to horticulture and livestock, fisheries and agroforestry. We have explained these sectors in detail, and we have explained the concepts related to these sectors also. Then block 4 is that introduction to sustainable development. So we have systematically we have designed the course 1. That course 1 first introduction of the gender concepts, and block 2 is theorizing the gender, block 3 is agriculture, and block 4 is on sustainable development. In that sustainable development block 4, first we have introduced about the concepts related to sustainable development, that is Unit 14. Unit 15 is goals and dimensions of the sustainable development. What are the goals and dimensions related to sustainable development? And Unit 16, if you see that, sustainable indicators. And Unit 17 is ecology and green technology. Now we talk about the sustainable development, and there are so many research related to sustainable development. When we talk about the sustainable development, we need to talk about the green technology, how we have to move from existing technology to how far we could able to move the green technology. In that green technology, how much it will be useful in the agriculture and related sectors, whether the women could able to use those technology, do they have a skills to learn about this technology? If they don't possess enough skills, it is the responsibility of the government and other institutions to make the women to get skilled and use those green technology to make the entire agriculture and allied sectors become more sustainable. Unit 18 is specifically we have included this unit to talk about the ethics in agriculture. Here when we talk about the ethics in agriculture, here we are talking about the extensively this unit discuss about like extension workers also. Extension workers, they play a significant role in taking the various agriculture, the technologies, recent developments related to agriculture, and maybe there are various research related to agriculture. Based on that, those researchers, there will be an emergence of new technologies in the agriculture field. Those technologies, the only extension workers, they could able to take those technologies to the field. So it is very significant for the government and other institutions to sensitize the extension workers to make those technologies available and accessible to the women. That is very important. So in that Unit 18, specifically ethics in agriculture, we have discussed about the role of extension workers to make women technology oriented and the significance of introducing new technology among women agricultural workers, laborers or women farmers. That is very important. Those aspects have been discussed in Unit 18. Unit 19 is about the global challenges of sustainable development. This is the what are the existing challenges related to sustainable development. How do we address those challenges? Those was extensively discussed in Unit 19. As far as Course 2 is concerned, the Course 2 is titled as Gender Dynamics in Agriculture. This course code is MGS042. If you look at the objective of the course 2, specifically that course 2 we have designed to explain gender roles in agriculture and allied sectors, to discuss gender specific access, control over resources, knowledge, skills, decision making in agriculture and allied sectors. The last specific objective of course 3 is to explore the occupational hazards and drudgery reduction mechanisms to women in agriculture and allied sector. Like course 1, this course also 6 credit worth course having 5 blocks with 23 units. Each block in this course have dealt with each sector, starting with agriculture in block 1. Block 1 have 5 units. Before I go further about the block 1, I could able to explain the block 1. The block 1 is about, it starts with gender roles in agriculture. Unit 1 is gender roles in agriculture. Unit 2 is access to resources, services and institutions. Unit 3 is gender specific knowledge and skills. Unit 4 is decision making in agriculture. Unit 5 is gender occupational hazards and drudgery reduction. So, like as I have explained, the existing patriarchy and gender socialization process expect women to perform specific roles in society and men to perform specific roles in society. Here I would like to quote from Esther Boschrud. According to her, both in primitive in more developed communities, the traditional division of labor within farm family is usually considered as natural. Like whatever we expect women to do certain activities, we think that it is natural. It's like it is not imposed on women. That is what we consider. And also, most of the time, the women, they expect to do certain kinds of subsistence economic activities. Due to that subsistence economic activities, we expect it is the women's responsibility to fulfill the certain basic needs of the family members. Like, for example, if you take any society, both women, men, other genders, they perform various roles like productive, reproductive and community roles. Most of the time, the productive roles means we considered as certain kinds of economic role activities. Those economic activities, mostly we expect male to do that. The male members, they go out, they work and they expect to take care of the entire families. Reproductive activities, it includes not only bearing of children, rearing of children, and taking care of the elders, and reproductive activities includes preparation of food and other activities. Mostly we expect the women to perform all kinds of reproductive activities. Apart from that, the women, they perform certain kinds of community activities. So unit 1, if you look at that, what are the roles in agriculture? What are the males' role in agriculture? What are the females? Once we clear about the roles of male, female and other genders in agriculture, then it is important to know that whether the women, do they have an access to resource, services and institutions. If we talk about the roles, certainly we need to know that whether do they have an access. See, if the women, if they do various agricultural activities, then we need to know that do they have an certainly they have an access to land, but do they have a services, like services given by the various institutions and organizations, including government organizations. They provide various services to the farm communities. If we don't accept women as a farmers, they may not get the various services provided by the various institutions and organizations. So this unit 2 clearly talked about the what is access, what is control, and what are resources, whether the women, do they have an access to resource, services and institutions. Unit 3 is about the gender specific knowledge and skills. What are the knowledge and skills possessed by the male members, specifically in the agricultural sector? What are the roles and what are the knowledge and skills possessed by the male members specifically related to agriculture sectors. That was explained in Unit 3. Unit 4 is about the decision making in agriculture. Women, they do contribute around 70% of the agricultural activities are carried out by the female members in the agriculture sector. Still, they may not be able to take decisions related to agricultural activities. You must be wondering, what decision means, what are the decisions they expect to do. Means land means it is the important to decide the crop, what crop they expect to grow in a particular season. After growing the crop, harvest, once the crop is, particular crop is get harvested, and how do they take decisions, whether sell it in the market immediately, or they could able to store it, or the next season what crop they could able to grow and how much they could grow. All the decision, whether they could do whether they could take a decisions related to like purchasing of seeds and other decisions related to agricultural activities. Whether the women could able to take decisions, or do they allowed to take decisions related to agricultural activities. If they are not allowed to take decisions related to activities, what is the reason for not allowing women to take decisions? Those issues have been extensively discussed in Unit 4. Unit 5 is related to gender occupational hazards and drudgery reduction. This is about the block 1. If you like block 1, the second block is about the gender and livestock. Like in agriculture, we have also elaborately discussed the sector, livestock sector in block 2. Like Unit 6 about the gender roles in livestock farming. Unit 7 is access to resource services institutions. Unit 8 is gender specific knowledge and skills in livestock. Unit 9 is about the decision making in livestock farming, and Unit 10 is about the gender occupational hazards and drudgery reduction. This block is specifically allocated for the livestock sector. Like block 2, block 3 is specifically on fisheries. In this sector, like first 2 blocks, Unit 11 is about the gender roles in fisheries. Unit 12 is access to resource services and institutions. Like other 2 sectors, agriculture and livestock, in fisheries also, women may not be able to go to very far in the sea to do fishing activities, but most of the women actively involved in inland fishing and whatever, and they do various activities in this seashore. So what are the women's role in fisheries? What are the male members' role in fisheries sector? Whether the women, do they have an access to resources, services and institutions? And Unit 13 is about gender specific knowledge, skills and skills specifically in fish farming and processing. Unit 14 is about decision making in fishing sector. 15 is about gender occupational hazards and drudgery reduction. This block is specifically discuss about fisheries sector. So first agriculture, second one is livestock, third block is on fisheries, fourth block is gender and agroforestry, including sericulture and bee farming. You all must be knowing that women is also actively doing sericulture and bee farming. So Unit 16 is about the gender roles in forestry. Unit 17 is about access to forest produce. 18 is about the issues in resources and entitlements for the forest produce. 19 is about decision making in sustainable forest management. This sericulture and beekeeping is part of the forestry. That's why we have included sericulture and beekeeping in the unit related to gender and agroforestry and forestry. The last block related to course 2 is about the gender issues in agrarian crisis. After explaining the various sectors, it is significant to know about the crisis faced by the agriculture sector. Then Unit 20 is about the agrarian relations of production. Here we have explained about, from a sociological point of view, what is the existing agrarian relations of production. Unit 21 is about the contemporary challenges of liberalization, privatization and globalization. You all know that we are in the era of neoliberal economic policies as part of the capitalism. Here the market plays a significant role, and most of the time you could able to see that people living in an urban areas, they must be facing the price rise and constant change of prices related to agricultural commodities. So you all must know what is the reason for constant change of commodity prices related to specifically on agriculture commodities. What is the role of market? And you must know that what is liberalization, privatization, globalization. What is the role of export, import, whether the small farmers or medium farmers, they could able to produce certain crops, then they could able to sell it, or will they able to export those produce? All those questions certainly will come to our learners' mind. That was explained in Unit 21. Unit 22 is specifically, we talked about the agrarian migration and rise of women-headed households. So in India, we are fastly like the cities are expanding, the urbanization is happening in the fast rate most of the time due to the role of urbanization, and also the over a period of time the agriculture contribution for the employment generation is diminishing over the point of time. Due to that, most of the time the rural population, they try to migrate to urban areas. Due to the rapid urbanization and migration of male members, the feminization of agriculture is happening in an alarming rate. That was explained in Unit 22. Unit 23 is specifically about various case studies. It talked about the farm suicide families in India. This is about the course 2. The course 3 is about gender and sustainable development. It has 4 units and it is a 4 credits course, unlike first 2 courses, and it has 13 units. The objective of the last course is to demonstrate the role of women in natural resource management and sustainable development, and to apprise the impacts of climate change on women in agriculture and allied sectors. The last objective of the course 3 is to discuss the interrelationship between gender, agriculture and food security. Specifically, we have first block talked about the linkages between gender and sustainable development. It has 2 units. One is talk about the ecofeminism and deep ecology and the relevance of gender in sustainable development. Block 2, if you look at that, it is specifically discussed about the gender and natural resource management. Here we have 4 units. It talks about the energy, water, soil and biodiversity. The last is about gender and climate change. In that we talked about the issues of climate change related to agriculture, animal husbandry, fisheries and agroforestry. Last block in this course is about gender, health, nutrition and food security. Food security is very significant related to gender issues. So food security, nutritional security and health we have discussed. I hope the learners could able to clearly understood the program gender, certificate program in gender, agriculture and sustainable development. If you have any doubts related to this program, kindly write to the program coordinators. The program coordinators are Dr. G. Uma and Dr. Meeta Sinha Mahapatra from School of Agriculture. Both of our email IDs available with the IGNOU website. You are welcome to write to us. Thank you so much.